Good morning, everyone. Happy Canada Day weekend. It's also my birthday weekend, which is a lot of fun. I like my birthday. And, well, for my birthday, Justin Trudeau goes out with his briefcase with stickers on it. Briefcase with stickers? It's not like you're a world leader or anything like that. Does Donald Trump have stickers? USA! USA! Yeah, that's our leader, everyone. That's our leader. That's him. Here's M saying, attending a world summit with stickers on his briefcase. Lord help us. Hashtag Canada Poly. Yeah. Here, it gets better. Okay, so the Globe and Mail is trying to spin this as Trudeau ignoring Xi. Okay? Which, nope. Because we're going to watch the longer version. And this is our leader. This is, okay. Leo's tweeting quote. He says, Global News seriously trying to spin this as Trudeau turning his back on President Xi. Clearly, Xi didn't notice or care, and it was Justin who was flat out rejected by Bolsonaro and left looking like an unimportant loser that he is. He's going to tell Trump and the other kids that the other kids are mean. So here it is.
Trudeau clearly turning his back to Xi to greet an unlikely ally, Brazil's far-right leader, Jair Bolsonaro.
Wow, right? Here's the full video, and it's, wow. It's pretty incredible. The snub is very obvious. Trudeau taps him with his left hand to shake his hand with his right. And as soon as he taps him and leans in, Bolsonaro turns. It's really, watch. It's kind of funny. Links in the description.
Thanks to planning, but rather the alphabetical order of the seats. Canada right before China. The leaders, though, did not interact or acknowledge each other at all for several minutes while the cameras were rolling. No eye contact, not even a nod. Trudeau clearly turning his back to Xi to greet an unlikely ally, Brazil's far-right leader, Jair Bolsonaro. The Prime Minister's office insisted that Xi and Trudeau had greeted each other earlier in the day.
Okay, I'll leave it there. That's, right? Wow. Hey, man, okay. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna walk around the room looking important. We got video of that too, but I'm not going to show it. Okay, Peter Baker says, Trump says he did not discuss the extradition of Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou during the discussions with Xi. So yesterday it was kind of, not assumed, but everybody knows that Canada needs help dealing with this Meng Wanzhou extradition thing. Trump is the one who initiated it, or the United States is the one who initiated it, and by requesting extradition of Xi, or of Meng Wanzhou. And that started, or exacerbated relations between Canada and China, because Canada then had to act or have a very, very uncomfortable conversation with the United States as to why they're not acting when we're supposedly very close allies. So Justin's in between a rock and a hard place, and he needs some movement from Trump or something from Xi. And what we're getting is no more meat being sent to China, and pork is a $3+ billion market in Canada, right? And we send a lot of that to China, and done. Sorry about that. Soy, nope, don't want that. And so what it looks like is Canada's being frozen out, and Trump is currently negotiating trade deals with China. So maybe China's making room to purchase from the United States instead of Canada, which not great for us. Not great for us. And I think Trump said Canada would pay dearly for insulting him at the G7 in 2018, which, you can check that tweet if you'd like. But it's incredible what has happened, and the chickens have come home to roost, right? Like the diplomacy by tweet from Justin Trudeau and diplomacy by virtue signaling. I guess it's less diplomacy by tweet, but he has been tweeting, and the tweets have not done what Justin's intended, right? The come to Canada, we'll accept you, or whatever, that launched the illegal border crossing, and human traffickers use tweets like that to prove to people that Canada will accept people, which is not what you want to do when you want to have strong borders and a robust immigration policy, right? Like, you can't have open borders and open immigration. It just doesn't work that way. We'll bankrupt ourselves. Anyway, it's interesting. All of what's happening has been building over the last 3 years, right? And it seemed that Trudeau's actions were one of somebody who thought he knew what the outcome was going to be, and he was very arrogant about that. And now that he's in between a rock and a hard place with China and the United States, and make no mistake, Canada is absolutely not no match, but not even a blip for either of those countries, right? Like, it is we are partners with the United States. And so they want, hopefully, to help us. But at the same time, business is business and Trump's a businessman, right? So this is, man, it's interesting. It's not good, but it's interesting to watch. Trudeau cannot embarrass himself enough. Here's a Rick Mercer Report ad, I guess, and it's Trudeau doing a stair fall. Was this popular in 2015? Did this endear him to people? It's 15 seconds. We're going to watch it because it's dumb.
This is what's happening to millions of Canadians in 10 years under Stephen Harper. His idea is to give benefits to the wealthy.
We're back.
Sorry. I don't know if Trudeau, okay, this is October, but this was posted again and just this morning. And, why? Here's a spending list. And I thought this meme, it was going to be my opening meme, except that the video just won out by a lot. So I wanted to keep this here and handy because this is interesting as well. Not only are investments in Canada going down, not only is China refusing to purchase our products, not only is the United States potentially making moves to fill in those gaps that are being created by China, but our revenues are low because we can't sell our oil at market value, and we're sending our taxpayer dollars at a record pace outside of Canada. It's incredible. It's incredible. There's a lot of spending, and we're going to look at even more spending in just a minute. But first, I wanted to touch on SNC Lavalin. This broke yesterday, and it looks like the court case is going to be happening right when the election's called. The election's going to be called sometime in September. So, because of the date of this, it's supposed to be on September 20th, returning to trial. Because of the date of this, I think that the election will be called earlier, so probably September 1st or 2nd or 3rd, maybe on Labor Day. I don't think as early as August, but who knows? Maybe August 30th, 31st to avoid the Labor Day thing and get people flat-footed. But who knows? I don't know. But I think early September is my prediction for the writ being dropped because of this. SNC Lavalin opts for judge-only trial in corruption case. Lawyers representing SNC Lavalin have opted for trial by judge alone in a corruption case that has loomed over the Montreal-based engineering and construction giant. The company was ordered to stand trial last May. It is accused of paying $47.7 million in bribes to public officials in Libya between 2001 and 2011. SNC Lavalin, its construction division, and a subsidiary also face one charge each of fraud and corruption for allegedly defrauding various Libyan organizations of $129.8 million. One charge for $129 million for various Libyan organizations? How do you do that? How do you do that? I don't understand the process with which you can defraud various Libyan organizations for a value of $129 million and only get one fraud and one corruption charge. One? All that $29 million across those various agencies, that's just one thing. You guys that whole thing was for the one project, so we'll count it as one. But if it was you or me, for probably much less, it would be, one count of this and one count of that and blah, 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 blah. It's so interesting to look at our legal system critically. And maybe I'm being too critical, but I think maybe they're not being critical enough. Back to the article. Being found guilty could have grave consequences for SNC Lavalin because it could find itself blacklisted and shut off of lucrative federal contracts for a period of 10 years, as well as undermining its international business opportunities. Oh, for you or me, dear viewer, we would be looking at years in prison, right? But, for this company, the sanctions are such that, they won't be able to get their hands on some lucrative government federal contracts. They'll be just fine provincially and municipally, and their business around the world won't be affected at all because, whatever. But in Canada, they won't be able to bid on federal contracts until somebody changes the laws. Right. Back to the article. Political controversy. SNC Lavalin has been caught in a political controversy for months after failing to secure a deferred prosecution agreement, a kind of plea deal that would have seen the firm agree to pay a fine rather than face prosecution. Former Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould alleged that top government officials pressured her to overrule federal prosecutors in the Libya case and negotiate a deferred prosecution agreement with the company. That's what the SNC Lavalin scandal has been boiled down to, basically. Remember that Jody Wilson-Raybould chick? Former liberal? Yeah, former Attorney General? Yeah, don't worry about her. She's fine. She alleged something, but it didn't really happen, and Justin Trudeau's awesome. Unbelievable. The case will return to court September 20th. So during the election period, SNC Lavalin will be in court defending their corruption and their one count fraud. Unbelievable. And here is Miss McKenna spending $223.5 million to help countries in the Americas and the Caribbean region adapt to the effects of climate change. What? Yes, Minister McKenna. Today in Brussels, Minister McKenna announced $223.5 million in funding to help countries in the Americas and the Caribbean adapt to the effects of climate change. Learn more here. And here it is, the Government of Canada news release. It says Canada announces new support for the international climate action and coal phase out. So here is my favorite thing. Climate change is the greatest challenge of our time. Climate change is real. It's real and happening. And it doesn't need to be said. It's so strange. It's such a strange way to start every climate change thing, right? Let's virtue signal first. Developing countries are disproportionately affected by climate change, with women and girls often most impacted by climate change. In what way? In what way are women and girls more impacted than men or boys? Why women and girls? Why not women, girls, and boys? Why not women and children? Why women and girls? Really, Miss McKenna? Like, this is silly. Minister McKenna, on behalf of the Minister of International Development and Minister for Women and Gender Equality, Miriam Monsef, announced that Canada will contribute $223.5 million to the Canadian Climate Fund for the Private Sector in the Americas C2F project in partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank and the IDB Invest. This initiative is the second phase of the C2F project and will help countries in the Americas and the Caribbean region adapt to and mitigate the effects of climate change. So I don't know if this $223.5 million is this year, is like right now, or if it's over 5 years. They don't say it, so I'm assuming it's all this year. I think it's all this year because they don't have a qualifier, and I'll show you why I think that. I scroll down, I missed this part a little bit, and it says, additionally, Canada and the United Kingdom, co-chairs of the Powering Post-Coal Alliance, announced they will be combining efforts to establish an independent secretariat, which will allow the alliance to continue solidifying and expanding its work to phase out coal power. For its part, Canada will invest up to $600,000 over 2 years to support the Secretariat's work. So in this one, they give the qualifier 2 years. In this one, I think it's just this year. I think they're just giving $223 million to fight climate change with no real clear success metrics. How many coal plants will you reduce in the Americas with the $223.5 million? Exactly. How many? How many pounds of CO2 will you remove from the environment, from the atmosphere with this money? Can you tell me? Is it over 5 years? No, it's over 1 year. That's what I think. I don't know for sure, but that's what I think. So here's over 5 years, Guelph, which is where I live, and Wellington, which is not the riding. It's bigger than the riding, but I guess Lloyd is the biggest clout name there, so he was announcing it. But he's announcing $1.48 million to address homelessness in Guelph. But here it is. Here's the devil's in the details. Quote, on Friday morning, Guelph MP Lloyd Longfield announced the county is to receive $1,485,909 spread out over 5 years to enhance and expand programs that help people find housing and remain housed. Now, I'm not asking for $223 million, but maybe a couple of million would be nice to help citizens in Guelph, a Canadian town that's suffering homelessness, rather than these kind of mushy, no metrics, $223 million and then another $300,000 to the C2F. And just in case you think that I'm being selfish and saying that maybe you should spend the money in Guelph, maybe forget Guelph. Maybe you should spend the money on government agencies that are begging you for money. The Star's reporting on February 28th, 2019. Starved for money, Federal Auditor General cancels work. Lets security slide. Canada's Auditor General's office is struggling to complete important work because it doesn't have enough money, its latest financial report says. The Auditor General's quarterly financial report released Thursday says funding for the office hasn't been enough to keep up with the, quote, increasing audit and services cost pressures. So audit-related work has been put off, and some planned performance audits have been canceled. Performance audits are the examination of government programs and activities that can turn up slack practices and malfeasance and often grab headlines. So these things aren't happening because there's no money, but there's a whole bunch of money, $223 million to send to South America. Does that make sense to you? Because it certainly doesn't make sense to me. This government, I do not trust to represent me or spend my money. This is beyond the pale, and it keeps happening. They keep spending money. As I referenced in my meme here, there's a list, and you can Google all of this. It's all searchable. It's all public. It's all in the CBC and other news media, etc. And this is our taxpayer dollars at work. So we don't have enough money to look at the government programs for malfeasance and slack practices, but we've got enough to spend $223 million in other countries. More. Lots more. Lots more. Have a look at my local channel. I'm going to be going in depth on just this. Maybe not in depth. Maybe I'm going to do like 5 or 7 minutes because I like to try to keep them short. I don't know. But if you want more information on the spending outside of the country compared to spending in the country, because it's important. It's important to spend Canadian taxpayer dollars on Canadians. We have issues in this country. We should be trying to solve those issues in this country. Unbelievable. Stickers. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the peoplespartyofcanada.ca and have a wonderful Canada Day long weekend. Thanks for watching.